Let's be honest, plenty of fans assumed Lewis Hamilton's transition to Ferrari would be rocky, slow, clunky, and honestly, who could blame them? He's stepping into a brand new environment, fresh car, unfamiliar systems, and a team that's been stuck in a loop of self-doubt for years. But here's the twist, it's not Hamilton who's struggling. It's everyone else who's trying to catch up with the reality. British racing driver and Le Mans winner Jamie Chadwick recently pointed out what many have been hesitant to say out loud. This Hamilton-Ferrari project has already outpaced the early expectations. And it's not because of some one-off result or stroke of luck. It's because Lewis is doing what only the absolute best can do, adapting with lightning speed, analyzing with precision, and raising the overall level of the operation around him. Take China, for instance. That sprint pole position and win. That wasn't just a feel-good moment. It was Ferrari's first taste of victory this season. And in a car that's still far from refined, mind you. That's not luck. That's elite racing instincts and experience on full display. And while both Hamilton and Leclerc were later disqualified on Sunday, one for plank wear, the other for underweight violations, the one thing that didn't get thrown out was the valuable data and insight Lewis provided. He flagged an underperforming element on his car in Japan, something even Ferrari's engineers had overlooked. That's exactly why he was brought into the fold, not just to drive, but to rebuild. Chadwick hit the nail on the head again. Lewis made significant strides in just 2 race weekends. That's unheard of in modern F1, where switching teams with no testing is like trying to win a chess match blindfolded on a new board. Bahrain, a circuit Hamilton knows inside out thanks to preseason runs, represented one thing: opportunity. Sure, McLaren might be soaring right now, but as Jamie pointed out, the current F1 landscape is defined by razor-sharp execution. One slip-up in Q3 or a missed apex, and your race is done. Hamilton is a master at this. If Ferrari can hand him even a decent package, he'll wring every ounce of performance from it. This isn't about whether Ferrari is currently the 4th best team. It's about whether they're smart enough to follow the guidance of a driver who's twice turned chaos into championship success. And based on everything we've seen so far, he's on track to do it again. So if you're still wondering whether this move was the right one, take another look. The raw numbers might not scream title contender just yet, but the groundwork? It's there. Hamilton isn't just driving. He's shaping, leading, and elevating. Let's be absolutely clear. Anyone judging Hamilton's Ferrari move purely on race results is missing the bigger picture. The results will come, but the real transformation is already underway, quietly and effectively. And guess who just confirmed it? Mark Jean, former F1 driver and longtime Ferrari insider. He went public with what many have sensed all along. Hamilton isn't just piloting a Ferrari. He's transforming the team from within. And Jean's right. It's not an easy feat. You don't just leave a team you've called home for over a decade, hop into a completely new design philosophy and car system, and immediately make an impact. But Hamilton isn't merely surviving. He's teaching Ferrari how to win again. Even with a few underwhelming P7 finishes early on, he's already delivered a sprint win and shown elite-level awareness that's impossible to teach. That disqualification in Shanghai, irrelevant in the big picture. Lewis had already flagged issues with his car's performance before anyone else even noticed. That's not guesswork. That's feel. That's 15-plus years of racercraft coming into play. And let's not sugarcoat Ferrari's challenges. The SF25 has been a beast to tame. Unpredictable ride height issues, narrow handling windows, and a twitchy balance. But Lewis is already making adjustments, shaping how the team talks, how they approach setup, how they communicate internally. Chadwick was spot on. Even in team briefings, Hamilton's input stands out. He's providing game-changing intel. This is leadership, plain and simple. Hamilton is building something that transcends his own performance. And he's realistic too. During the SF25's launch, he laid it out plainly. The car is completely different. It's rare to jump into something new and have it just click. But Hamilton isn't resisting the change. He's leaning into it with the methodical mindset that's earned him 7 world titles. The Ferrari world is foreign. The steering wheel, the software, the car behavior, everything is unfamiliar. And yet, Lewis isn't complaining. He's recalibrating in real time. That's what separates the greats from the rest. Even now, he's outperforming most of the field in raw pace and race IQ. And let's not ignore what most analysts are scared to admit. Ferrari hasn't exactly made things smooth. There's been internal back and forth about when upgrades should land, ride height complications, and an SF25 that at times feels more F2 than F1. Yet Hamilton is dragging this car forward through sheer force of experience, data, and willpower. So if you're still doubting whether this move will yield fruit, you're only seeing the surface. The transformation? It's already happening behind the scenes. Now, let's cut through another layer of drama. Remember the wild pit lane moment between Max Verstappen and Lando Norris in Japan? Grass flying, cars wheel to wheel, radio messages flying. It looked like pure chaos. But the stewards didn't even blink. No penalties, no investigations. And no, it wasn't some hidden agenda. It was the rules in action. And that's where we come in. Paddock Insider doesn't sugarcoat or sidestep. We break it down, raw and real. Here's what actually happened. Oscar Piastri pitted on lap 20. Both Red Bull and McLaren reacted instantly. Verstappen and Norris dove in. Red Bull had a slightly sluggish stop. McLaren nailed theirs. Norris stormed down the working lane and suddenly found himself wheel-to-wheel with Verstappen at pit exit. This was McLaren's shot at the lead. Norris hit the throttle, Verstappen held his line, and boom, Norris was in the grass. Heart-stopping? Absolutely. Illegal? Not even close. Here's why. Verstappen was already in the fast lane. According to Appendix L, Chapter 4, Article 5b of FIA regulations, drivers in the fast lane have right-of-way. That's not a suggestion, it's the rule. Norris, coming out of the working lane, had to merge behind safely. Verstappen didn't have to move. He was well within his rights to defend his position, and he did it in typical Max fashion, firm, but legal. What about unsafe release? Again, no dice. This wasn't a brawl at the center of pit lane. It was at the far end, away from crew members. Verstappen didn't have to brake, swerve, or take evasive action. Under Article 5F and Article 34.14 of the F1 sporting regulations, there was no danger, no obstruction, and therefore, no foul. And in true racing spirit, both drivers laughed it off. Max, with his usual dry humor, quipped, "The grass wasn't really well cut on the right side." Lando shot back, "I wasn't trying to overtake, just doing some lawn maintenance." Two elite racers, pushing the limits, and still keeping it light. That's what makes this sport special. Oh, and that slow Red Bull stop? There's more to the story. Two of Red Bull's lead mechanics, twin brothers, had to leave Suzuka due to a family emergency. Backup crew stepped in. That stop wasn't just slower, it was done under emotional and logistical strain. And they still nailed the essentials. That's resilience. So, don't buy into the social media conspiracy theories. This wasn't favoritism or botched officiating. It was racing by the book. Fast lane priority. End of story. But back to Ferrari, and something big might be unfolding behind the curtain. According to Corriere dello Sport, one of Italy's most respected outlets, there's tension brewing. Charles Leclerc has reportedly drawn a line in the sand. "I'm doing things my way." That's what he told Fred Vasseur and the top brass at Ferrari post-Suzuka. Not in anger, but with clarity. While Hamilton is emerging as Ferrari's voice of influence, Leclerc is making it clear he won't play second fiddle in his own team. And honestly, who could blame him? Ferrari's 2025 campaign has been anything but smooth. Yes, Hamilton's sprint win in China was a highlight, but when it comes to Sunday races, it's Leclerc who's quietly delivering. His P4 in Japan remains Ferrari's best race day result so far. And here's the kicker. Ferrari has been clinging to Hamilton's feedback since he walked in the door. Which makes sense, 7 world titles, a known car developer, and a racing icon. But if you're Leclerc, and you've out-qualified and out-raced Hamilton in every Grand Prix so far, at some point you say, enough. That's what Leclerc did heading into Bahrain. He's reportedly going all in on a setup tailored to his own style, not one built around Hamilton's data. And frankly, it's about time. If Ferrari keeps trying to balance both sides of the garage with a one-size-fits-all car, they risk satisfying neither. Let's face it, the SF25 isn't a title-winning car right now, and both drivers know it. Leclerc said it plainly, the car lacks raw performance. Hamilton has hinted at lingering issues on his side of the garage. So what now? Keep tweaking blindly, or let these two elite drivers pursue their own paths to progress. That's what makes Leclerc's move so compelling. He's not abandoning the team. He's stepping up. While the spotlight stays glued to Hamilton's radio chatter, Leclerc is quietly seizing control of his future. And this isn't about ego, it's urgency. Ferrari sits fourth in the constructors. Red Bull is dominant, McLaren is pinpoint accurate, and even Mercedes is looming. If Leclerc and Hamilton are going to drag Ferrari back into contention, they'll need to push this flawed car from two angles. Maybe, just maybe, that's the duality Ferrari needs right now. So let's see what Bahrain brings, a divergence of strategies or a breakthrough sparked by a driver who refuses to play backup. And if you've made it this far, you're clearly not here for surface-level analysis. So here's what to do next. Hit like if you think Ferrari needs independence to thrive. Drop a comment. Should they build around Charles or Lewis? And subscribe to F1 Advanced. We don't do PR. We do real, relentless F1 reporting. Raw, sharp, and always racing focused.